In this video today, we're going to cover doing stock takes in Retailer Roam. But going one step further, with the latest version of Retailer and Retailer Roam, you can now do stock takes in Retailer Roam and it syncs that data live back to Retailer, enabling quantity on hand tracking for sales to be more up to date than the previous versions of Roam stock taking. So how does it all work? Well, we start off the stock take in Retailer, count the products in Retailer Roam. The data from Retailer Roam is going to sync back to Retailer, and then we finalize the stock take in Retailer. So let's do step one, starting the stock take. We're going to go to stock maintenance, stock take, and stock take. We're starting a new stock take. We're going to go for a full stock take or a spot stock take. And we're going to give it a name. So I'm going to call it Roam Demo. And we close that. The final step in Retailer to get that up to Roam is to go to Tasks and hit Web Link Full Sync down here. We say yes and OK. And within about 5 minutes, that stock take is going to appear in Retailer Roam. Here's Retailer Roam if you haven't seen it for the first time. We're currently on the dashboard. Stock taking, stock management, and all the other stock procedures that we're going to go through in a few series of videos are all found here within point of sale. So we click on point of sale. It takes us to the Roam point of sale function area. And if we click on the little menu icon here in the top left, move my face out of the way again. To access the stock count or the stock take, we just open up stock counts. And the stock take hasn't yet synced to Retailer Roam. As I said, it takes about 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, I'm just going to refresh the page. It'll take me straight back to the point of sale screen. And we go to the menu, stock counts, and you can see the exact same named stock take has come from Retailer. So we're going to open this up by clicking on it. Now, before we get into counting some items, move me out of the way again, we're going to talk about the different functions in here. So you've got the search box, you put your cursor here, you scan a barcode, or you can search for a product by name by typing in the name. You also have the little barcode button here, which enables you to use your camera. However, cameras are not barcode scanners. They don't detect barcodes as well as we hope. They detect QR codes, but we're using barcodes. So there is limitations around cameras and barcodes there. Our advice is use a barcode scanner. So if you are going to use Retailer Roam, if you're using a laptop or a tablet that has a USB port, use a USB scanner. If you're using a iPad or a tablet or a mobile device, get a Bluetooth socket scanner. Now, before we get into counting, we're going to have a look at the two different scan modes. Under Actions, we have Scan Mode, and you can see I've currently got Slow selected. There's Slow and Quick. Slow is where you scan or find the product, input the number, and press Enter or click Count. And Quick is where you go scan, 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 and it will count that item 3 times. Or if I scan item A, scan item B, it'll then count item A and item B once. We're going to start off with slow, and then I'm going to show you the fast method. Here where I've got my search box, I'm going to input a barcode. So just like a barcode scanner, beep, finds the item, and then it's asking for how many. So I'm going to say I've got 5 of those. I'm just going to move my face out of the way so you can see this little menu appear as I go through the items. Here's my next barcode. And I can then put in 5 or whatever my count is. So it's scan, quantity, enter. Scan, quantity, enter. So here's my next one. Scanned it. It's asking for quantity. I go quantity. Now, if you're not using a keyboard and mouse like me, you would have a barcode scanner, or you could tap on the fields and put in numbers using your on-screen keyboard. And where it has that number, you've got to enter your number. So I have 3 of those, and you can press count with your finger, or you can press enter with the keyboard, depends on what you've got. Now I'm going to count an item, search for an item. So to start a search, we just start typing. So I've got a book in my system that's called Behind the Enigma. There it is. So we click on the item, and then we input the number. So I've supposedly got 5 of those. So that's using the slow method. It's scan or select the item, quantity, enter, scan, quantity, enter. On the quick method, you just scan it. So that's one scan, and you can see the count is 1, 2 scans, 3 scans, 4 scans. I'm pressing enter 4 times there, and you can see the count's 4. When I then scan the next item, so here I'm going to put in my next barcode, you'll notice the 4 will go from here to the actual product's counted value. So I'm going to scan the next barcode, and you can see the 4 has gone there. And this product's just a 1, so then I'm going to scan the next product. And you can see the last product, which was the graphite surf, has gone to 1. This is a carnation red. You can see the name of the selected or scanned item here. You can see it in the grid here. So when I scan the next product, the carnation red has its 1. And that's just scanning, scanning, scanning. To get the last item on the count method of quick to the table, you've got to press count to save it. So there we go. It automatically saves as you scan next items in quick mode, but on the last item, you've got to press count to submit that as the last count. Now that our products are all counted, if we go back to retailer, they do sync pretty fast, but it takes about a minute to sync the very last items, about that. So the last item we counted was potting soil, note the carnation red, and you can see the carnation red is here. And I have 9 items in my stock take, and there are 9 items here. So you can see it's actually synced that really fast, which is really cool. It's one of my favorite features about it, is how fast it's syncing the data back. So to finish that off, we finish off like any normal stock take in retailer. We go to process, we put in our password, and we answer our questions appropriately. Do I want to process a stock take? Do I want to reset the quantity on hand? A normal question that you've seen before, if it's a full stock take, yes. I'm going to say no to this and put in your code, and it processes a stock take. Thanks for watching.